Hi everyone! In this video we will talk about fast sites. How in principle they can be made and what are the nuances. How can you influence this process from the point of view of the customer? That is, it seems to be not a technical question how to make a website quickly. But in fact it is not quite right. There are various examples of slow sites. They can now become better, but generally the same. Mail.ru, Bitrix 24 CRM system, AdWords are very slow. Facebook, it is also have certain problems in speed, at least in my subjective world. I mean that when I used constantly, there are some small breaks. That is, system with fast response such as VK, Yandex, Google, YouTube too. By the way, that is processing the video data. These sites work very quickly. Accordingly, it is much more pleasant to use fast applications than slow ones, because they are annoying. The same Skype, I must say, here is an elementary search in it works extremely slowly. Everything slows down and suspends the entire interface, and this is very bad. We like it when the system gives out some information quickly, that is, it reacts to our action quickly, that is, it does not slow down or reduce our rhythm. So, of course, it is more pleasant for us to work with such systems. I want to tell you exactly how we achieve a certain speed. That is, due to what in our system it is work relatively quickly, in my opinion. First, we did a full hard SQL. That is, all data is executed, all data is extracted from SQL. And there is no intermediate layers as entity framework or some additional code processing. In other words, this layer is removed as much as possible. And the speed of movement from our page mainly depends on the data that is work from queries that are written in SQL. That is, if the request is written well, it will work very quickly. If it is bad, well, respectively slowly. But by and large, SQL is the fastest way to extract data from the SQL Server database. That is, not by some external means such as link or other. Therefore, all business logic directly lies in SQL, and accordingly data is extracted from it as quickly as possible. The next important point is that we extract several data sets at once. That is, for example, the same table. If you look at it, let's take an example. It contains several selects at once. So we don't extract data one at a time. We extract the data from the batch. Here we had the first query when select 1. Here is select 2 and the third select is the table settings. If there is one, there are still others, as you can see. That is, there are other queries. In general, there can be up to select in one query. This is kind of good thing too, meaning you don't create 10 separate connections if you do everything in one connection. The next important point, this already applies to the business requirements side. We try to avoid slow solutions, that is, solutions that create slowdowns or that don't work very well. So, if the solution is slow, we just don't use it. That is, if, for example, there is a very good component, interesting component, but it works slowly, then we abandon it. We will not use it, or we will wait until we find the same analog component, but it works quickly. Therefore, we try to avoid difficult decisions, because in the end everyone sees that the system becomes cumbersome, slow, bad, unstable, and quite conceptual. Therefore, we focus on simpler solutions. And the last method. This is true not for internal system performance itself, but rather for the user's performance. We try to make sure that all the key functions of the user are immediately available on the page. To do this, we use universal search, which searches for different objects, knowledge base, blog, page, tables, forms, and so on. It has a notification of some kind, It has a service menu of the user. It's all standard, but it is also has a quick action panel. In other words, we can do some action here. For example, add a new client, add a Falcon update. Plus, there are keyboards shortcuts available, as you can see, Ctrl-Alt-1. So, the user can quickly create their own interface. Firstly, which can be created for it, and secondly, do some quick action that they need all the time. That is, if he remembers that Ctrl-Alt-1 it is a way to create a new client, it is convenient for him to do it from any page, just remembering that there is such a key combination. That's all. In other words, these are the main elements that we have described. We use it, and this allows us to make a relatively fast interface, because on the server on which the system is used, many different applications are running, and it is not very powerful. That is, there are 2 GB of memory and 2 cores. In my opinion, that is not such a fast system, respectively. We are currently running various load tests, trying them out, and looking at how the system works. But this is a separate topic. We are talking about the performance of a specific request. We will also make a video about this later, when we collect the data. Maybe we are optimizing something somewhere because we need to work on the topic with the same pictures and other things. We need to work on it in detail. I think there will be a separate video about it. That's all. Thank you for attention. If you have any question, please write to us in the comments.